CM Punk and Drew McIntyre taking photos with the opposition. Punk had a photo of himself with Brody King and Darby Allin, but the biggest one is Drew McIntyre having a photo with Jungle Boy Jack Perry and posting it and aiming it sort of directed at CM Punk with the caption, "Cry us a river." So let me just get the photo up, Dutch.
That was great marketing. And we'll talk about this in just a minute. But now WWE is freely and openly expressing that there's other companies out there that present wrestling. And I thought that Vince, for years and years and years, I guess he thought that if you don't mention them, that people, you could almost hide the fact that there were some other companies out there. But I'm glad they're taking notice of that, because this is an acknowledgement of the social media, that everybody knows it happened. If you're a wrestling fan, everybody knows, and you read wrestling news, everybody knows it's happened. But I'm glad to see that they're openly admitting TNA is out there, the other companies are out there. So now they can get more exposure on their talent coming in, and I think it benefits everybody. Because WWE, I didn't want it isolated just to WWE. Give me the news all over the world and bring these people in. That's the way wrestling used to be. Because if you were coming to Memphis and you worked in Dallas, well, they'd send all the Dallas stuff into Memphis, all the clips and all. So the people watching it saying, "Oh, wow, there's another company in Dallas," and you may not have known it, and some people did know it, but you had a different look before you got there. So if they play 4 weeks of tapes before you arrive, you're over when you get there. That's what we did with the Rock and Roll Express. Mm-hmm. We started in Memphis and did all these videos on them, and when they went to, I think they went to Oklahoma, they went to Mid-South, Bill Watts territory. They played 4 weeks of the tapes that Memphis had sent in for them, and they were over the first night they walked in. And I think they beat, I don't know who they beat there. And they took all the tapes that they did in Mid-South territory and sent them to Mid-Atlantic, to the Charlotte territory that we used to call it. And they won the titles the first night in. So they don't even have to get overtime. The tapes do that for you. So when they come in, they're already a draw.
I'm just trying to look at who Rock and Roll Express Mid-Atlantic. One sec.
I think they beat the Russians the first night in, Ricky told me.
Have a look. Forget it, I can't find it. Anyway, let me get the photo up of Drew McIntyre and Jack Perry 1 second. So, keep in mind that they're both sort of at the same level in their respective companies. Maybe Drew McIntyre's, a bit more main event than Jack Perry or promoted as such. But it's like mini-me.
Yeah. And that is he's feuding with, he's got an angle with CM Punk, and everybody knows about Jack Perry and CM Punk. Everybody knows about it. That got a lot of publicity with that tape and all this. And it was Cry Me a River, bitch. And they're using that for the photo, and it makes sense. It makes perfect sense. And it doesn't do Jack Perry's career any harm anyway. That helps him too. So everybody was helped. And that's what I like about the companies using their cross-promoting, is what they call it, cross-promoting. And I think it does both of them good. Because here's Drew McIntyre making fun of CM Punk with Jack, and Jack's getting the publicity. And so you could look ahead and say, Jack Perry, this does him more good than all the Ring of Honor and the AEW stuff that he's done before. I think that does him more good, that picture right there. And now you can say, well, how long will it be before Jack Perry is in WWE? And it doesn't do him any harm.
Do you think
Now,
CM Punk would try and block him from going to WWE?
I don't think so. I think it did both of them good, and it got actually CM Punk. Who knows? It could be a big work with him and Jack Perry. I think CM Punk wanted to get fired anyway, and I think he was tired of working for AEW. And this was when all the thing with Vince was blowing up. So when he left, was Vince already in trouble or no?
Oh, in 2023, yeah, I think Vince at that point was out of AEW.
Okay.
Yeah.
And and CM Punk wanted to come back. And now he's just acknowledged this past, and within the last 2 weeks, that he says that he loved WWE when he was there before, except Vince, because they had a lot of, and he said he was burnt out, just completely burnt out. And he left, and he says it had to take all this to get him back. And he says now he's really enjoying his time there. He's actually said he doesn't ever want to leave. He wants to end up running NXT, which I think is a good fit for him. So, and a lot to be said for CM Punk actively trying to get fired, and he did. I think laying your hand on the boss would be a way to get your walking papers.
I made a mistake there. I made a mistake. Vince McMahon was with WWE during the Brawl In or Brawl Out, whatever it's. No, I don't know what it is. The Wembley show, for God's sake, last year. Vince was there at that time. He'd wormed his way back in, and then they kicked him out again. Beginning of 2024, when the Janelle Grant lawsuit came out, I think.
Yep.
It's tough to get this timeline right, I'll say. Let me give you just one more thing with CM Punk. He said on Sports Illustrated's podcast, Punk opened up about his feelings about the incidents with the brawl with Jungle Boy. He said, it felt really ugly, but then I was like, showing the footage, this is on AEW Dynamite, isn't going to help them or hurt me. So whatever. Right. Being a top drawer in 2 different companies is pretty wild. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. See, he doesn't mind that. And I guarantee you, I'll say one thing for CM Punk. I think he's fairly reasonable. And that did him good too, even though it was a negative thing. And CM Punk's got fans, and they're going to side with him no matter what. And I don't think any damage was caused. Oh, Jack Perry had to go home for a while, but they had to have. Tony Khan had to do something.
It did him a favor though. In the end, it gave him time to retool.
Yeah,
come up with a new character, come up with a new look, learn a new hold. Wasn't that the old saying?
I guess. I don't know. I never had to learn a new hold. I was too busy. I was too busy using my old ones. And I knew I knew 2 moves. A headlock and a punch. That's all I needed. Just take the headlock and just punch them. But see, that's why we could get by with that stuff, because, not doing a lot of stuff like they're doing today, because we had a story.
Did I ever ask you, did you ever have a finisher? Did you ever use like a regular finisher throughout your career?
Yes, I did.
What was it?
Me laying flat on my back for 3 seconds.
It worked out for you.
It did. It worked out. So